Hey everyone, it's Dad from Coaster Fam again with another Arieforce One update. Please make sure to like and subscribe. So for the past few weeks, there hasn't been a whole lot of visible progress to Arieforce One. Started thinking that maybe this thing isn't going to open in the summer. Maybe it's going to be late fall, or maybe even they could be trying to push it for next year, maybe. But this week, there's a whole lot of new pieces of track out front. There is some of the parts are, the twisted pieces of track, which are either going to be for the truss dive, or I'm wondering if it's going to be the part that twists up in or out of the stall, because they have this part actually done. The rest of the truss dive structure hasn't been put up yet, so that could be what that is. I hadn't noticed before, but I think all of this is completed here, coming out of the stall, all the structural support there. The pad is still the same. It looks like they've cleared out a little bit around it, I guess in preparation for the work that's to come soon, to let it finish curing. There have been some major developments here on the other side of the arcade, but we'll get to that in a second. Behind the Screamin' Swing, there's now a job trailer over here and some shipping containers with this big billboard that says Arieforce One, Area 51 Vehicle Assembly. I went off to the side, and if you look back there between the shipping containers, you can see what could be one of the trains on a pallet. I have seen it around now that they think the trains have in fact arrived. Now behind the arcade, this huge twisted mess of structure support has gone up just in this past week alone. So they were prepping the ground, I guess, to do this for a few weeks back here. This is insanely fast construction to get all this for the turnaround in the barrel roll coming over the arcade. They also poured these pads, which I guess will be the maintenance path way back there to this part of the ride. The pads for the bottom of the lift hill and station have been formed out with the wood and the rebar in preparation for pouring the pads. I talked to a source inside the park who says they are in fact still aiming for a summer opening. So I'm thinking at the speed at which they put up that structure behind the arcade that it's definitely possible that August is still what they're aiming for. The question I want to pose this week to you guys is, there's a lot of hype around Arieforce One. The hype is building for this. It's going to have a lot of expectations going in. But what is a ride the first time you rode it that blew your mind? A ride that maybe you hadn't thought a lot about and you were just going to get on it to get the credit and it absolutely blew your mind, or something you thought wasn't going to be that good or you heard wasn't that good going in and it just absolutely was amazing. Let me know in the comments below. I would say for me, mine is probably Copperhead Strike. So the first time I went to Carowinds, I was credit hunting. I only got to ride this one time. I ended up actually getting sick later in the day because I'm old. But I took a return trip about a month ago, solo trip, and this thing, I rode it 3 times, absolutely blew my mind. There's ejector airtime all over the place. The hang time was legendary. It's better than I even remember. The launches felt powerful. It definitely jumped a lot of spots in my ranking after that trip. But let me know in the comments below, what's something that blew your mind the first time you rode it, or the 4th time you rode it. As always, thank you guys so much. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.